Here we are.
Here we are again. Here we are. It's really great to get people to say, hey, where have you guys been? We missed you. So we've been really busy. We've been...
so busy.
So busy. And so today we started with our...
Still in the island spirit. So today's podcast is brought to you by wine.
Wine. We don't know what kind... Well, it's Portuguese wine.
It's Portuguese wine.
It's Portuguese wine. I mean, is there anything else?
This could be your brand here if you wanted to... if you wanted to sponsor.
Oh my God. No, we're panhandling to wine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So where have you been? We have not recorded in almost a month. Where have you been?
Where have I been?
Yeah.
I've been to the Middle Islands for filming, and you were with me.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. You were with me.
Yes.
For 2 weeks. 2 weeks straight. It was 14 days straight. It was
We
crazy.
apologize to the crew. We really rode you hard and put you away wet.
Oh, we really did. It was, at the end of the 2 weeks, we were all exhausted, but we had a limited time and limited funds and resources, so we had to do it within a certain specific time. And then after that, I had a food tour. I had a food tour
On the Middle Islands?
No, with just San Miguel. Just San Miguel. So yeah.
Okay.
So I've been a busy girl. And then I lost my voice. I came home. He was thrilled. I mean,
That's not true.
it's true. It's true. There was like complete silence for a week in our house, which is unheard of. Look at him. He's drinking. He's not even Oh. It's true. It was like peace and quiet in our home. Was that it, Bob? He's not saying, which means it's true.
It was awful.
You can't even say that with a straight face. Oh my God.
I'm normally very loud and boisterous, and this was just a change.
He's never loud and boisterous. You're never loud and boisterous. And that's the whole thing. I always thought my superpower was to be able to talk and nothing would get in my way of speaking. But guess what? I guess being exhausted...
Well, that would do it.
Would take away. So I do not have any superpower. Period.
That would do it. So
yeah.
We want to talk about so much, but we only have a certain amount of time. So
yes.
We will talk about the islands individually, because it was my first time visiting the 4 islands of Terceira, São Jorge, Pico, and Faial. Mm-hmm. You've been to...
I was to Terceira once.
You've been to Terceira once.
Yeah, but nothing like this. And all the other ones, it was the first time for me as well. So it was, I can't wait to go through detail on each island, because we really had an amazing time. It was a lot of work. So, but it was worth it.
Yeah. So we flew directly from Boston to Terceira on...
Azores Airlines.
They did a great job, thank you, of getting us and all of our equipment there safely, by the way. We traveled with our crew and all the equipment. We had something like 22 bags, not counting our carry-on.
No.
And some of it was quite expensive, so that was a little bit
nerve-wracking. We had a lot of cargo.
But none of it got lost.
Nope.
We all arrived first thing in the morning and got to our hotel and... unpacked and started getting ready to film. Yeah,
it was like feet hitting the ground and you got to go running. That's it. And that's how it was from every day. Every day. It was early morning, it was late night, and it was along the way meeting the most incredible people that we met and that we recorded, and I can't wait. I can't wait till it all comes together.
Yeah. So what is the game plan then for everything that we shot?
What is the game plan?
Yeah. What are we looking at for episodes? Like, what do you think the breakdown will be? When do you think we'll have it on?
I know that the game plan is to have everything edited, voiceovers. I'm going to be starting to do some voiceovers because I couldn't do it because I lost my voice. So we should be doing that soon, and then putting it all together, getting it all with... all the specifics that you need to by working with PBS and with the distributor for PBS, NITA. And then we hand it over. We hand it over at the beginning of the year. And once we head it over or hand it over, then it is up to them to put it out there. So we're looking at the beginning of the new year. And I know the distributor is waiting for it. I know that our introductory station is waiting for it. And I know there are plenty of PBS stations that are like, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? Because the first season that came out, it had such a great reach. And, I mean, the carriage, or whatever they call it, was huge for a first-time season. You know, they kept telling me, for a first-time season, the amount of people that watched it usually is about, third or fourth season in, that you would get that large of an audience, and we did. We got a huge audience. So I'm so excited about this new season coming up, and but like anyone who ever does anything in life, there is it involves a lot of hard work. Nothing has been easy. Nothing is given to us, and we're working hard.
Yeah,
we're working real hard.
Long way to go.
Yes.
To get to the end of January. We still have fundraising, we have post-production, we've got an awful lot to do. And we mentioned the hard work. So to Dean, I don't know what title to call him today, because he does a little bit of everything.
He does everything.
Dean is back with us from season 1, and then he was with us back in the beginning of summer when we filmed the first 4 episodes that we had Dean. And Charlie came back for this set as well, and we had Mark for sound, and then we had Nate with us as our media manager. Really just great crew, and they rarely complained. Maybe a little bit about my driving, but they rarely complained. By the way, I'm comfortable driving a manual transmission. It's what I learned on. I mean, there weren't cars when I was born. We just had horses.
Stop it. Oh my God, he's so full of it.
But I learned to drive a manual transmission, so that wasn't a problem. When we get to São Jorge, our second island, and I had a 9-passenger, 6-speed manual transmission van, so it's a little bigger than I'm used to.
That in itself is a whole episode. And
the roads of São Jorge are a whole other story.
That's a whole other story
as well. So the guys had reason to complain, but that was all fun. But as I said, we've got a long way to go. To get to production. But let's see. What are some highlights that you can remember? Well,
I mean, the whole thing on all 4 islands in the center there, I have to tell you, we're all those islands are such gems. We really are 9 gems in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And I am just thrilled to be able to showcase 4 more, because the first season was just São Miguel. And so to be able to do 4 more, that would be, it to me is a gift. And I know that there's 4 more to go. And we had to choose 4 because that's what our funds allowed us, just to do 4. And 4 more, I should say. So I had to be really picky on what we were going to do next. And it doesn't mean I don't love Flores, Corvo, Graciosa, and Santa Maria. I don't. It's just the fact that those 4 will have to be for another season. It's the only way to do it. I can only do it a little at a time, but I have not forgotten about those 4. And so it was really great to come into each island. Each island has its own history. Each island has its own dishes that are special. Each island has, I think, the sweetest people.
People were great.
People were just beyond amazing. And, I can say, for example, in São Jorge, for example, we had this gentleman, Paulo, who drove the van for us one day because we were going to go to a feijão, which was going to be, a real incline. And
really, the best way to get to this feijão was by parachute. There's no business going in by car.
Yeah, but Paulo could. And so, in talking to him, I would say something, in passing, like, this is what I'm looking for, or I need, X, Y, Z. And then all of a sudden, I would have either that person that I wanted to speak to or a certain specific thing that I was looking for would just show up. And so it is almost like that island was like, okay, what can we do? What can we do for her? What can we do to showcase our island? And it was like, they just took us like with open arms. They just took us in, which is, yeah, I could cry. I could cry.
Don't cry. Have a sip of wine.
I know. I'll have a sip of wine.
Yes, thank you. You know, it's funny because the filming, we'll film for 4 hours to get 10 minutes of footage.
Oh, definitely.
And the patience of the people that we're filming who don't know us, a lot of times they've never seen the show.
Nope.
And don't know who we are. So cheers to them and putting up with us, and their enthusiasm for the project
absolutely.
was just great.
I mean, in the meantime, we also had people say no to us.
Well, it does happen.
And it happens.
They have their reasons.
And we have to respect it. And you know, but we'll go into detail on that a little bit. We won't say who said no, but
So, did you have a favorite island from the 4?
Oh my goodness. No. I mean, I loved all of them. That's a hard question to ask. I mean, let me ask you, what was your favorite?
I didn't have a favorite.
He's
Each island was beautiful in its own way.
It really was.
You just connect with the islands on different things. So they're all different, and they're all the same. Now, I'm not saying that Fayal was my favorite and the most beautiful, but Fayal was just gorgeous.
He did at the end was looking at houses, like what was up for sale in Fayal.
I was applying for jobs. I wasn't looking at houses. I was applying for jobs. If Manny and Margot could have taken on a farmhand.
He was ready to stay.
I was right there.
I mean, it was all so beautiful. It was just all beautiful. And like you said, they're all beautiful. They're all so different. They're all the same. Whereas it's that same hospitality that you get in every island. It's the same beauty and wonder that you get in every island. It's the thought of, am I really in this place called, you know, fill in the blank, or am I living inside of a painting? Because sometimes it does. It feels like it's not real. I mean, when we're standing there and looking at Piku, and you're looking at that huge, and you're going, okay, this is not real. This can't be real, because this is so beautiful. It's just beyond beautiful. And the whole thing is, and I think I said this in one of my videos, you know, for people who family immigrated out of all of those islands in the center of, in the middle of the Atlantic, it's time to go back. It's time to go visit. It's time to go back to see your roots, because that's where we come from. I mean, it's really a beautiful, beautiful thing to see.
There's a lot of people that think that the Azores were part of the lost empire of Atlantis.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool to think that.
It is.
My lady's from Atlantis.
Yes, I am. That absolutely explains everything.
Yes.
It explains everything, because they are such magical, magical islands. They really are, and you can't help but say that. And with the people that were with us, with the exception of one other person who had been to other Azorean islands, the other 3 had never been there. And we'll talk about how they felt, but let me tell you, they were all looking at houses that were for sale in different islands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, oh my God, this doesn't exist. How come we never knew about this place? This is, how did this get past the radar? And so it's very special. Yeah. It's very special.
We should probably give a shout out to some of our sponsors who helped us make this before we
come to an end here. We could not make this happen without our sponsors. And I have people asking me, why is it that, you know, PBS isn't paying us to for these episodes, or paying us? They have given us some money. It's through PBS Foundation we have received some money, but not all of the funding. So we have to look for funding elsewhere. And that is part of working with PBS. If you work with PBS, you're not going to be getting paid. The money train isn't coming and dropping off money.
No.
You've got to find the money. And if you ever see anyone else who's part of the PBS family, they will say, we do this, and then the end part is, selling books or selling this or selling suitcases or, fill in the blank. Pots and pans.
Rick Steves, one of our favorite hosts, makes his money off of tours and
tour guide,
luggage.
Books, and luggage. Exactly.
Luggage, not from the TV show.
Nope.
Now, I've got some used luggage I could sell you, and I've got some used tour books, but it's not enough to cover.
No, not enough to cover the cost. So we couldn't do it without Bay Coast Bank. They were our first sponsor for the first season, and they were my first sponsor for the second season. So love you, Bay Coast Bank. Then it was PBS Foundation. They gave us money, which was wonderful. And then it was the Besuit Hotel Group, who gave us some
nice places to stay.
Nice places to stay while we're there. So it's less money that we needed to spend. We also need to say thank you to Azores Airlines for helping us out as well. And also to Visit Azores, which is Azores Tourism. They helped us out as well. And let me think of who else. And of course, all the people who've given to the GoFundMe fund, as well as who've given into PBS Rhode Island. If you want tax deductions, it's through there. But I mean, everybody who made this happen, you're all part of it. And without you, we could not do this. And so we can't say we can't do this without you. And that is the honest to God's truth. We could not do this without you. And before we went on our trip to do the filming, we had someone who had told us or promised us a certain dollar amount that we were going to be getting. And before I left, they had backed out of giving us that money. So hence a friend of ours put together the GoFundMe to try to raise money and awareness that we need to have more funds out there. So that is the reason why it's out there. For many years I've said, no, I don't want to do a GoFundMe because it always has to do with, some other stuff. And I'm like, more people need it than, people who really need it. But now we really need it.
We need it.
We need it. And so that's the case there, but we haven't given up. I still have some people to call and some doors to knock on and to ask for more funding. So if you know anyone out there, any company, any organization that wants to give and be part of the ending credits of brought to you by, or this is in thanks of.
If you have your own year-end tax credit that you need, you can donate through PBS, and it'll go all to the production of our show. You can designate that.
Yep.
And get your write-off. It's win-win.
It's win-win. And none of this money is for personal.
No, we don't make any money off of this.
We don't make any money out of this.
We really don't.
What you see is what you get. And I've always been very open and honest about what we're doing and where everything goes. So that's the scoop, guys. And I think I've gone long enough.
I'm going to finish my Montevella here.
Oh, your Montevella, yes.
Monteville?
There you go.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
So next time, we'll wrap up with the islands.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, my God, there's so much.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.